and welcome back to Claire's Clothes. On today's video, we'll be talking about the book Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. See, in this book he talks about how personal power equals action. So what he means by this is that our personal power is usually obtained through the actions that we take. So he goes on to say that the great end of life is not knowing, but instead action. So the actions that we take on a daily basis, no matter how much we know, it generally doesn't imply that we're good at what we know. So until we start applying it, we don't actually know if we're good at it, if we understand it, or if it can generally be applied to the fields that we are looking at doing, or just generally have a hobby in, whatever it might be. Unfortunately, until action is taken, we're not going to know. So we can know every book under the sun, we can read everything on Google, no matter what it is, you'll find that until you start applying the things that you have read or that you have learnt along the way, you'll find that you won't necessarily understand or be able to apply the things that you have learnt, or sorry, not necessarily apply them, but be able to understand them until you're able to apply them. So he also talks about continuous action, guys. We need to take continuous action on the things that we want to know about or learning, and in this way we'll find that you start becoming really well versed in what it is that you know. So again, knowledge is not everything. Application is what matters, because you don't truly know anything until you can apply it. So take action. Make sure you're implementing what it is you know on a daily basis if you can. So he also goes on to say that we need to keep trying until you either reach success or you fail. So whatever it might be, whether you reach success, that's a great way to be, or it's a great thing to do, but we don't always necessarily skip from learning to success. There is plenty of failure in between. Now, what we have to understand about failure is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. That failure is something where if you fail, you are not a failure, but instead failure is an opportunity to start again, only this time more wisely. So what we find through failure is that we find ways that it doesn't work. That doesn't mean that you haven't found a way that it will, or that you won't find a way that it will. You will definitely find a way if you keep persisting and keep that continuous action going, because as long as you're still applying yourself, you'll find that you will find a way. Nothing happened overnight. Success does not come overnight. You need to keep applying yourself day in, day out, failure or not, because you'll find at the end of the road that you would have wished that you could go back 20 years and fail continuously, because through failure we find success. We find gratification, because at the end of that road of failure, there is always success. You will find that you might find 10,000 ways something doesn't work, but you will eventually find the one way that it does. So guys, he talks about how you need energy, skill, and ability to do these things. You need all these three key components to be able to succeed at whatever it is you want to achieve, whatever your goals are, or whatever it is that you want to invest your time into. So these three key things being energy, skill, and ability, you'll find that if you have high energy, so if you're looking after yourself, getting a good sleep, feeding yourself, good nutrition foods, and looking after yourself in ways where you're drinking plenty of water, you'll find that your body will start to show, your body will start to show you signs of being well kept. Therefore, giving you the ability to go through your day without feeling drowsy, tired, exhausted, or worn out. Because what many of us do is that we might skip breakfast or we might skip lunch and we might only have tea or dinner, but at the end of the day, we are flat out exhausted. We don't want to do any more work. You've had enough. You just want to, be done with the day and then maybe watch a movie and go to bed. That's how majority of us function. Unfortunately, that is how things are, but we can change that by looking after ourselves. Now, he also goes on to say that skill is a big one. Skill is something that no matter what it is we're doing, we need to have some degree of skill or a skill set in that. Sorry, I'm lost for words, guys. Just a skill set in general, in whatever it is that we're doing or looking to do. So we need some degree of background knowledge, and then the skill and the ability to apply that. So the third one, guys, like I just said, it's ability. So you need the ability to be able to, A, function at a high rate. So if your day requires a lot of you, you need the ability to put forward your best work. No matter what it is that we're doing, we need that ability to make sure that we can push through and succeed at whatever tasks we have for the day. So make sure that you've got energy. So, look after yourself, drink water, eat the right foods, get plenty of sleep. And skill set, we can all learn a skill set in some manner, to some degree, and we can always build on it later on down the track. And ability, make sure you've got the ability to push through your day to give the 100% that you need to whatever task you need to accomplish. Sorry guys. Now, moving on, he says, majority of people don't realise that 7% of our words, 38% of our tonality, and 55% of our body language is what makes up majority of conversations. People care very little about what it is that we are saying. 38% of it is tonality, so how you're saying it, and the 55% comes from our body language. So the things that we do with our arms and how we gesture with our faces, things like that, how we stand. So you'll find that someone who's standing like this might not be very approachable. But if you find someone stands like this or waves at you, you'll find that they're far more approachable. So that's just a little insight to things like that. Now he also says, moving on, that we need to break bad habits. Now we've all got some to some degree. We've all got a level of bad habits that we do. And we justify them because we like the bad habits. They're comfortable and they're generally quite easy. But this ties back into a book I did previously where it talks about the 5-second rule. Take 5 seconds and count backwards. Realize that your bad habit can be changed. So implement a better habit to replace the one that you've got. You can't get rid of your bad habit, but you can replace it. So a good example of this, guys, would be if you got up in the morning and you found that you're dragging your feet like half the day, you haven't really got a lot done, but you've got a lot of tasks on your list that need to be completed. What you can find you can do instead is that instead of getting up in the morning and just dragging your feet and taking your time doing things, trying to wake up, you can instead start your day with a glass of water and then maybe go for a bit of a walk or a jog, whatever suits you. Get your body pumping. Get moving and get active, because this way you'll find you'll start activating parts of your body and your brain to help you move through the day more easily, keeping you more alert and more awake. This way enabling you to do the tasks at hand and not having to get to the end of the day and realise you haven't really done even half of them. We all know what that feeling's like. So replace that bad habit. Replace it with a good one. Because what you can find is by doing that replacing of a bad habit with a good one is that we start accomplishing things and tasks or achieving goals that we want to achieve. And they might be little to begin with, our little replacements of bad to good habits, but those little replacements are the things that make the big picture. Because it's always the little things, guys, the little things that add up to make a big picture. Think about a puzzle. You do it piece by piece. You don't get two halves, put them together, and then your puzzle's done. I mean, as nice as that would be, it'd be really easy and quick, but that never happens. That's not how puzzles work. And that's what the big picture is like. It's one thing at a time, one puzzle piece that connects into another, that follows on to the next one. That way creating the picture that we want, our success or your goal, whatever it might be. So he goes on to say that as you think, so you become and so you act. So the thoughts that you are having day in, day out, whether they're negative or positive, you'll find that you'll start to become your thoughts. You'll start to act upon those things. So if you tell yourself every day, I'm no good at this, I can't do it, you'll find that you'll start believing it, and then you'll become the person who can't do what it is they think they can't do. You will become just that. You won't be able to do the task that you think you can't do. But change your mind and change your mindset and turn it around into, I can do this. Whether you failed 100 or 10,000 times, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of it, you'll find that if you believe, if you think that you can, you'll find that you start becoming that. You find that you become someone who is capable. Therefore, your body will follow suit and you'll start being someone who acts upon their beliefs. Someone who will believe that they can do it, therefore they will show you that they can do it. They will start to prove through their actions and through what they do and say that they will be able to accomplish whatever it is they're thinking. And also, guys, think big. Make sure you are thinking of the big picture. Whatever your end goal is or whatever your success might be for you, you'll find that you need to think about the big picture quite often. So going back to this big picture, no matter where you're at right now or tomorrow, you'll find that going back to this big picture enables you to see what steps need to be taken. And that way, when you're thinking big, think outside the box. You'll find you'll start taking steps and actions towards things that you might not necessarily do. Now this ties into the next part where he says, get out of your comfort zone. Make sure you are out in uncomfortable situations, because you'll find that that's where we grow the most. In uncomfortable situations, we start adapting and doing things that we wouldn't necessarily do. And we learn from those occasions. We learn from those instances where we are put in an area or a predicament where we aren't necessarily comfortable and we're not sure what to do. But in doing this, in failing in what it is that we're not comfortable doing, so long as we keep doing it, we'll find that no matter what, through repeated action, we will be able to become better. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's maths, English, or if you're learning a new art, or, you know, maybe you want to go horse riding, whatever it is. Maybe you fall off that horse 10 times, but get back up. Get on that horse, and I will guarantee you, so long as you keep getting back on it, you'll find that you'll become better at it. And eventually one day you won't fall off. You'll be able to ride that horse for hours. So that's the whole key of persistence and continuous action. So guys, he also talks about how we have 7 triggers of success. The first one is passion. All right, so be obsessed. No matter what it is that you are doing, whatever your success might be determined by, you'll find that if you have an obsessive passion about whatever it is you're doing, you'll be able to achieve just about anything. Now, second, guys, is belief. He says you can do anything. Anyone is capable of anything, so long as we have continuous action. All right. Now, third of all is strategy. We need to understand that we need to be able to organize our resources. All right. So have a strategy in which, say you're going to go to the gym and you want to lose 10 kilos, 20 kilos, whatever it might be for you. You'll find that if you have a strategy and you're organizing your resources, maybe your resource is a personal trainer. You'll find that you can book in times with your personal trainer to start helping you to lose weight. All right, so that's what he means by strategy. And fourth of all, he talks about clarity. Clarity is where you have a clear vision of right and wrong. Understand that we all have values, and whatever we deem right or wrong is what sets us on the path of success or failure. So make sure you have a clear understanding of what it is that you deem as right or wrong, and start making decisions towards those things. All right, now, number 5, guys, he talks about energy. Make sure you've got energy. Make sure you're bursting with it, because when you find that you are oozing energy, you'll have the utmost power to move mountains. Doesn't matter what it is, no matter how big or small the task might be, it will get you to where you want to go, so long as you have energy. All right, so that means looking after yourself, guys. Make sure you're sleeping, eating well, drinking plenty of water. I'm sure you've heard it all before. You know how this story goes, but it is true. We wouldn't say it over and over and over again if it wasn't. All right, so number 6, guys, he talks about how bonding power is important. All right, so bond with others, develop a rapport, and get to know people. This way you'll find you'll start branching out into areas you might not necessarily be comfortable in, but you'll start to be able to, learn new things and do things you might not have thought possible before, simply because you started connecting with other people. I know, it's so simple. And 7th of all, guys, the last but not least, he talks about how mastery of communication. So make sure that you are communicating with others and ourselves correctly. Master the way we speak to ourselves. So understand that positive thinking can go a long way. All right, and same goes for negative. If you think negatively, you'll find that your body will start to take that on and believe it. Therefore, you might start feeling run down, you might start feeling sick, your body won't be performing at 100%, and you'll start feeling like, I can't do it. Whatever it might be. Turn those thoughts, that thinking of negative into positive, and look at the results you will get, even in a week. All right, and also understand that mastery of communication applies to others as well. So the way we speak to other people, how we greet them, the communication and the conversation, the topic of it, how we handle conversations, how we handle conflict, little things like this matters. All right, guys, so to quickly summarize, it talks about how personal power equals action. All right, so through application, we can gain power over our lives or whatever it is that we are doing. And continuous action. Make sure that you're putting in the effort every single day. Make sure that even if you are absolutely exhausted, run down, that you're at least putting in 1%. Because that 1% is still more than nothing. It's still more than what you would achieve not getting out of bed. All right, and keep trying, guys, even if you fail 1,000 times over. Understand that failure is just another opportunity to do it again, only this time more wisely. All right, so in doing all this, you're going to need energy, skill, and ability. So make sure you're looking after yourself, you have a skill set to some degree because we can always build on it, and the ability to be able to achieve or give 100% in what it is you're doing. All right, and we can break habits as well. So start replacing your bad habits with good ones. So like I said, the 5-second rule, all it takes is 5 seconds. Start counting back when you realize you're going to start your bad habit, and then replace it with a good one. Because you'll find that over time, this will start to compound and you'll start doing this on autopilot. You'll start achieving the positive result over the negative one simply because you started doing it repetitively. All right, so he also talks about how so you think, so you become, and so you act. So make sure you're feeding your mind positive thoughts. All right, guys, because if you're thinking negative, you'll find that you'll start becoming a negative person. Therefore, acting upon negative thoughts and feelings. So not many people get along with negative people because they're never one to actually want to put in the effort. But if you're positive, if you're a happy-go-lucky person and you're out there and you're having fun, no matter how miserable the situation, you'll find that these people will be drawn to you. Happy people will find you and that you will start to prosper and you'll become more. All right, so he also talks about thinking big, guys. Make sure that you're thinking big about whatever it is your goal is, what you want to achieve. Get outside your comfort zone. All right, so once we're outside of our comfort zone, we can start achieving things that we wouldn't necessarily be doing otherwise. All right, and our 7 triggers, guys, he talks about how passion, you need to be absolutely obsessed with what it is you're doing. Number 2 is belief. So understand that you are capable of just about anything. Anyone can do absolutely anything. So long as we start putting our minds to it and we start applying ourselves. Now understand that we might fail over and over and over again, but success is not gotten overnight. You do not gain it from doing very little. Anyone that has reached success can tell you that they failed 1,000 times before they even had their first win. All right, guys, and number 3 is strategy. Make sure you're organizing your resources. Whatever that might be, make sure that you're utilizing them as best as you can. Number 4, guys, he talks about clarity. So have a clear idea or vision of what right and wrong is to you and start acting upon them. Start deciding on what is right and what is wrong. And what you don't want, cut it out. And what you love, keep it. Work on it. All right, number 5, he talks about energy. Make sure, like I said, look after yourselves. You're getting sleep, you're eating well, you're exercising. I don't want to be a broken record. We've all heard it. So I'll move on to number 6, guys. So that's bonding power. Making sure that you're bonding with other people, building rapport, and having a good communication line with people around you, or even complete strangers. And number 7, guys, last but not least, he talks about mastery of communication. So master the communication with yourself, think positively, and also with others. Make sure that you're being positive, outgoing, and that you're making sure that you're actually invested in the conversation at hand. This way you'll find that people will start actually responding in a positive way. All right, guys, that's all from me. We'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. But until next time, leave a comment below on what you like the most, and I look forward to seeing you next time in Claire's Clues.